Next on our program, I'd like to call upon Mr. Andy Shi, Executive Director of CPAC, and the man behind all the hard work to tell us a little bit more about CPAC. Thank you.
Good evening. I was so inspired by our award recipients and blew me away. Congratulations. Let me say a thank you to begin with. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for each and everyone to come here tonight. Many of you have supported for many years, and some of you are new. I want to tell you that your support is deeply, deeply appreciated. Most of you know that CPAC has been in the business for changing lives. As you have seen in our introduction video, we have helped thousands of immigrant professionals and youth to start a new life in Canada with a very meaningful career. Now in 2018, we started our last round of strategic planning. The result of that process is a new mission for CPAC to embark on, and that is to advocate on issues important to Chinese and Asian Canadians, particularly anti-racism, equity, diversity, and inclusion, or EDI for short. Now, not long after that, we see the rise of anti-Asian racism during the COVID-19 pandemic, which just quickly proves how right we were and how necessary it was for us to take this job and start this new undertaking. Tonight, you have just heard Nam and Chief Liu talking about the experience. Nam was talking about being treated differently, working harder than others to get the same opportunity or outcome. And you heard Chief Liu talking about overcoming barriers to get where he is today. And these are not exceptions. Their experience are actually the rule. So it's important that we recognize and put our attention to these issues. So at this point, I want to invite you to watch a short video that summarizes why we need to do the work we do to change the status quo and advance EDI. I hope that video has spoken to you. At CPAC, we speak out on issues that are affecting our community. We make submission to all levels of government, and we are an ally to other groups in their struggle for social justice and equity. We diligently conduct our research, training, and public education on these issues. Despite our very limited resources, our research revealed that in the GTA, the Chinese Canadian population represents over 11%. But in top leadership, we have only 2%. 2% versus 11%. That's 18% of representation. Now, one of the reasons is stereotypes, like what you saw there, model minority and perpetual foreigners. East Asians are often seen as quiet, good workers, but never leaders. Our respect for modest, contemplative and collaborative style for leadership and competence are usually not appreciated or recognized in the workplace. They are usually seen as lack of leadership. In our schools, students learn more about American history and European history than the real Canadian history. The full history of Canada, a history that started with the indigenous peoples and built on by the Asian, Black, and others, as well as the European immigrants and settlers. As a result, Asian Canadians continue to be seen as others, outsiders, and foreigners, which is a major root cause of racial discrimination. Our research shows that Asian Canadian history is largely absent from school classroom teaching and learning across Ontario. Also not absent are policies, practices, and professional development for teachers to address anti-Asian racism. A staggering 98% of our survey respondents stated that resources devoted to addressing these issues are insufficient. 70% of them identified underrepresentation in leadership is the main barrier to a curriculum that is inclusive of East and Southeast Asian Canadian history. These are systemic issues, and the issues before us are many. To correct them will take a tremendous effort. But nothing would change if we didn't do anything. And I'm proud to say that at CPAC, we have started to do something. And I invite you to join us in this meaningful enterprise to make Canada a better and a more inclusive society for all of us. So I invite you to support us, make a donation, be it at the silent auction in the foyer, make a purchase at the charity sale, and also share with us your ideas, your expertise, your experience, and very importantly, your resources too. And also being an ally, a collaborator and partner, it takes us working together to effect change. You have heard Chief Liu making the call that the time to get involved is now, and the call to action is for good people to do something. So I call upon you, the good people here tonight, to do something to help us to address the issue of equity, diversity, inclusion. And I want to say a few words in Chinese. 各位朋友、各位嘉宾，非常感谢您今天晚上来参加这个筹款晚会，来支持我们追求种族平等、多元和共融的事业。这是一个非常有意义的事业，也是一个很艰巨的事业，所以需要各位的帮助。如果你愿意，请你翻到你的场刊的最后一页的内页，有一个二维码，可以扫描一下进行捐款。我也希望你们到外面的大厅里，我们有无声拍卖，希望大家去竞拍。还有一个慈善的义卖，也请大家去看一下，买一点好的东西给你自己或你的亲人，在这个节日到来的时候，一方面支持一下我们这个伟大的事业，另一方面也会使你的亲人感到高兴。谢谢各位，感谢各位参加。